Luo Feng was observing Emperor Qing, and through the domain formed by the Star Tower, he could sense the sharpness contained within Emperor Qing. Even his own endless blood river was not certain to withstand that terrifying sharpness. Not unworthy of being the only one above God King in the land of origin of this era. Luo Feng thought silently. The ancestors of the two countries and the ancestor of the East Extreme domain do not belong to this era. His talent is a cut above the rest, far surpassing other cultivators. Luo Feng understood this. Not counting himself, Emperor Qing was the most terrifying of his contemporaries, followed by the ultimate realm lord of 10,000 realms, and then by Emperor Fu, Emperor Ming, Wind City Empress, Fire Ancestor, and so on. Emperor Qing only had eyes for Luo Feng, not caring about the sector beast at all. Because the minimum threshold for teleporting away from the source world is an ultimate realm life form. Outside of the source world, there's a convergence of elites from many source worlds and countless other worlds. In that place, being at the ultimate realm is only the basic level, so he naturally didn't care about a sector beast. I originally thought that in our era of the land of origin, only I and the Lord of 10,000 realms emerged. Emperor Qing's eyes were enthusiastic. Who would have expected that as the land of origin gradually entered its twilight, the galaxy ruler appeared? Haha, it truly is a joyous occasion. Being from the same land of origin, they were obviously the most suitable companions in life and death. Having a trustworthy companion during adventures in the outside world is too precious. If you don't mind, I would like to call you Galaxy Brother. Emperor Qing smiled as he looked at Luo Feng. Of course that's okay. Luo Feng said. The 13 emperors of the Flame Wind ancient country all have different ways of doing things. Emperor Qing belongs to the most dazzling kind, with exceptional talent, outstanding above all. He disdains primordial bloodline, disdains devouring creatures and other devious paths. By just comprehending the operations of the heaven and earth rules, he naturally became an ultimate realm being. Even while cultivating within the land of origin, he broke through the ultimate realm and reached above God King. It was indeed the case that resources helped him reach this point. But other emperors and monarchs of the two great imperial clans, with similar vast resources, have not even produced one ultimate realm being. This shows just how terrifying Emperor Qing's talent is. As for Emperor Yuan's matter, it was his own fault. Emperor Qing didn't care. His greedy nature, repeatedly devouring countless creatures, has caused a lot of trouble. Such a troublemaker and waste, according to my personality, should have been killed long ago. But the rules of the Flame Wind ancient country royal family were set by the ancestor, and I couldn't readily change them. Luo Feng listened with some surprise. Emperor Qing did not come to pick a quarrel but instead thought Emperor Yuan deserved to die? The ancestor was lenient, believing that the great Tao is immeasurable and need not be overly constrained. Emperor Qing shook his head with a smile. Let's not talk about that. I came today also to invite Galaxy Brother to leave the land of origin and join me in adventures outside. Invite me to join forces? Luo Feng was a little surprised. In the outside adventures, dangers are everywhere. Emperor Qing looked at Luo Feng. Alien races are not reliable and can betray at any time. You and I are both from the land of origin. Even if we move on to the next era of the land of origin, we will still have avatars staying in the land of origin, destined to coexist for endless eons, so naturally, we are the most trustworthy. Like primogenitor Yen Feng and Thunder Ancestor, they have been lifelong companions through endless eons supporting each other, and only then did they reach today. Emperor Qing looked at Luo Feng. I really need a companion who is trustworthy and also has enough strength. I heard that teleporting away from the land of origin will lead to different places? Luo Feng said, it's not certain that I can meet up with you, Emperor Qing, right? I have the Primordial Space Coordinates which can lock onto the destination. I can send out an avatar to teleport with you so we can teleport to the world where I am. Emperor Qing said, when I first teleported it was to this world where I have rooted myself for many long years, and I have established some foundations. Joining forces with me, your start will certainly be much smoother. Luo Feng was quite tempted upon hearing this. But he himself was not even an ultimate realm life form yet. Not qualified to leave the land of origin. The land of origin is too small for both of us. Emperor Qing urged passionately, outside the source world. There are strong beings from a multitude of other source worlds and countless other worlds. That's where we should be going. Discover stories at my virtual library empire. I am currently cultivating a secret technique. Luo Feng thought for a moment and then said, I'll wait until this secret technique is mastered before heading outside the land of origin. Cultivating a secret technique? Emperor Qing asked, how long will that take? At their level of cultivation, if they devoted themselves to cultivating a powerful secret technique, it would be quite normal to take hundreds of thousands or even millions of eons. About 1,000 eons, Luo Feng said. Luo Feng received 3 kinds of ultimate realm primordial bloodline biological materials and naturally wanted to elevate the world life form to an even higher level. Those ultimate realm primordial bloodline creatures, despite their low intelligence, have such strength. If Luo Feng succeeds by relying solely on his physical body, he may well match those above God King. Coupled with a deeper accumulation of the great Tao of life and death, Luo Feng felt that by then, he could try to venture outside the source world to gain some insight. The most crucial point is, to pass through the teleportation channel you must at least be an ultimate realm life form. This is the threshold set by the universe. Only about 1,000 eons? Upon hearing this, Emperor Qing laughed. No rush, no rush. Galaxy Brother, Cultivate well and perfect your secret technique, and then we can set off together. Luo Feng nodded. According to the intelligence on Emperor Qing and from their current interaction, Luo Feng found that Emperor Qing was suitable to be a companion. Most importantly, both sides are from the land of origin. In the future they would have to coexist in the land of origin for a long time, and they also had to consider their friends and disciples. Coming from the same source world, the possibility of betrayal was extremely low. If Galaxy Brother doesn't mind, shall we spar a bit? Emperor Qing looked at Luo Feng. Our confrontation will also show the forces of the land of origin that they dare not make enemies with Galaxy Brother again. Spar? Sure. Luo Feng was also quite looking forward to it. Good, then let's go outside the continent into the universe ocean, Emperor Qing said. That way we won't involve the innocent. Luo Feng nodded. Whoosh, whoosh. They came one after another, traversing the vast and remote distances to arrive outside the land of origin, within the universe ocean. This vast expanse of the universe ocean, close to the land of origin, was already devoid of any creatures. Please. Emperor Qing said with a smile, he who had traveled and battled in the outside world, encountering countless strong beings from different realms. Under the power constraints of the land of origin, Emperor Qing naturally felt no pressure. He was now merely curious about the strength of this future companion. He only wished for his companion to be as strong as possible. Luo Feng stood there. Be careful. Luo Feng brimmed with fighting spirit, such an opponent was rare indeed. With a single thought, his form instantly transformed into an endless blood river, which roiling and spread to an infinite expanse in a flash. The scope of the blood river enveloped its own realm. The blood river's length and width had no end. Those without sufficient strength would never be able to fly out of its bounds. Break. Emperor Qing stood still, yet from him radiated terrifying sword lights that cut in all directions. These sword lights were condensed to the extreme, cutting through all obstacles, even severing the operating rules. Even though LuoFeng's endless blood river was thick, each current like a world of its own, it was still being cut through by these sword lights. 19 sword lights that could cut through all things even managed to slice open the obstructions of the blood river realm, reaching the adjacent universe ocean. Boom, the universe ocean was struck, creating void chasms, and even the membrane of the source world had long cracks. The might of these 19 terrifying sword lights, unobscured and flagrant, instantly alarmed every godly king in the land of origin. This power? Every godly king in the land of origin felt a heart-palpitating sense of power that could easily annihilate them, bursting forth at the edge of the continent, within a part of the universe ocean. Instantly they each tried to pry into the scene. The powerful godly kings could cast secret techniques to watch from afar. The weaker godly kings needed to use the images from the Flame Wind Pavilion and Thunderclap Commerce to peer into the scene. The Galaxy Ruler and Emperor Qing have clashed. Is Emperor Qing stepping up for the Flame Wind Ancient Country? Is he avenging Di Yuan? Various powers were stirred up. Emperor Qing has made his move. Di Yen, Di Kong, Di Wu and other monarchs were very excited. They had full confidence in Emperor Qing. Emperor Qing once said that he could do nothing against the Galaxy Ruler, so why would he still make a move? Di Fu watched the scene from afar. Luo Feng. Among the many godly kings watching, there was also the mountain-sitting guest. The mountain-sitting guest had long known the identity of the black-robed golden-faced figure. Luo Feng's strength could easily suppress the combined forces of 8 monarchs. I wonder how he will fare against Emperor Qing. Although mountain-sitting guest was somewhat nervous, he still had confidence in his disciple. This disciple of his, with such exceptional talent, was even above Emperor Qing and the Lord of 10,000 Realms. Merely hundreds of age cycles upon arrival at the land of origin, he had grown so much. How terrifying was this talent and potential? Within the universe ocean near the land, Luo Feng could naturally sense the gazes of numerous godly kings watching from afar. He also understood Emperor Qing's approach, to make a bigger scene, to make the various powers truly understand the strength of the Galaxy Ruler. If you have strength, you must let them witness. Emperor Qing stood there. Once they see it clearly, they will become very obedient. Outside the endless blood river stood no less than 19 sword lights, naturally forming a massive sword array. Brother Emperor Qing's sword array is indeed formidable, able to effortlessly tear through my blood river, Luo Feng remarked. Water flow fears not being torn asunder. Emperor Qing laughed. I have struck 19 swords, yet your endless blood river hasn't weakened in the slightest. But next I shall get serious. This sword array, named 3000 Kill Array, draws from the core mysteries of an ancient witch array integrated into one. Although it is restricted by the supreme rules, its power is limited. However, its profound mysteries can be fully displayed. Emperor Qing said smilingly, please receive my strike. Upon finishing his words, the immense sword array suddenly erupted with light, countless sword lights converged and rotated, turning the entire formation into black and white hues, seeking to annihilate the entire blood river. Yet the endless blood river was immensely thick. Despite the black and white sword lights' efforts to rend it asunder, tendrils of blood infiltrated the sword lights, causing them to collapse. A Tao of life blood river? Emperor Qing determined in an instant. Each strand of the blood river's life force is terrifyingly powerful. Once contaminated, it can even corrode and destroy my sword lights. Emperor Qing stood there, naturally gathering endless sword light into his body. He himself seemed to be a sword, and even the vast blood river could not erode him the slightest bit. 3,000 kill array, heavenly pillar realm. With a single thought from Emperor Qing, the sword array transformed immediately. Amidst the endless blood river, pillars of sword light converged and towered into the sky. Each heavenly pillar was immensely majestic, infinitely tall, naturally supporting a vast world. 36 heavenly pillars? Luo Feng looked at the scene in front of him in amazement. In this vast world, with 36 heavenly pillars supporting the sky, the torrential and heavy endless blood river was completely trapped. Brother Galaxy, these are the 36 heavenly pillars I have comprehended from the heavenly pillar realm. A slight glimpse of understanding integrated into the formation. Emperor Qing said with a smile, what do you think of its power? Using 36 heavenly pillars as the foundation, propping up a world, this world sword array is indeed extraordinary. Luo Feng felt the endless murderous intent contained within the 36 pillars of sword light and laughed. However, my blood river is not that simple. Rise. Luo Feng's vast spiritual will merged with the entire endless blood river. In this moment, the entire endless blood river was like a giant python, and with a fierce swish of its tail, the entire river lashed at one of the pillars of sword light. Boom! At that instant, the sword light pillar trembled violently, numerous cracks appearing. Such profound mystery hidden within this blood river? Emperor Qing was secretly shocked. The seemingly simple lash of the blood river's tail actually carried an incessant onslaught of an endless might, not simply an outburst of power from land of origin. It was a continuous outburst of power, either with a sharp cutting force, a soft penetrating force, or the most basic crumble. A continuous unleashing of maximal power, coupled with different profound mysteries. Just by one lash, the heavenly pillar already showed cracks. Boom boom boom. The vast blood river, like a serpent, rolled and lashed wildly, causing the sword light heavenly pillars to begin to topple, utterly unable to hold steady. What might is this? Is this the strength of Emperor Qing and Galaxy Ruler? The other godly kings from land of origin watched from afar, including emperor levels from Flame Wind Ancient Country and monarchs from Thunder Ancient Country, all feeling suffocated. Those infinitely tall pillars of sword light, that vast and unparalleled blood river, were forces they could not resist. This is the power above God King level. Emperor Qing and Galaxy Ruler are too terrifying. These godly kings shuddered. The sector beast from Tianmu Kingdom also watched from afar. No matter how hard I cultivate, I can't break the bottleneck. I reached the ultimate realm by eating and drinking, but I am forever trapped in the ultimate realm. Compared to these two, I'm far behind. From the beginning, it hadn't relied on its own comprehension for cultivation. Suddenly having to rely on itself to advance, from ultimate to above God King, was naturally highly improbable. Above God King? Lord of 10,000 Realms was also watching from afar, on the basis of a complete great Tao, drawing upon other mysteries, integrating them into one's own Tao, taking the Tao one step further. But this step is too difficult. A complete Tao is already perfect. Integrating other mysteries often becomes gilding the lily. The power does not increase but decreases instead. Lord of 10,000 Realms was indeed able to integrate some mysteries into his Tao. The power could increase slightly, but it was clearly not a qualitative change. Perhaps I should leave the land of origin and take a look at other worlds, the Lord of 10,000 Realms thought. Before, the only one stronger than him was Emperor Qing, but now there was another galaxy ruler. The Lord of 10,000 Realms developed a desire to venture forth. Emperor Qing watched the vast and torrential blood river roaring wildly, sweeping everything aside. Even his own 36 heavenly pillars of sword light collapsed one after another. Unable to resist this fearsome might, he couldn't help but smile. Brother Galaxy, your blood river indeed has extraordinary power, so I will display the strongest form of this 3,000 kill array, 3,000 worlds. As soon as he spoke, billions of sword lights appeared, full of endless mysteries, naturally forming a grand formation. LuoFeng's expression changed slightly. Within a vast expanse, a world of chirping birds and fragrant flowers appeared, with endless land, skies and mountains rising and falling. Even some ordinary life was being born. Life is being born? LuoFeng was shocked. 3,000 worlds can evolve everything in the world. Although it is far from the operation of the supreme rules, it's also considered a slight glimpse of understanding. Emperor Qing appeared in this world, smiling at LuoFeng. Within this world, the endless blood river almost spanned half of the world, but it was suppressed by invisible rules. The whole world's power was suppressing the blood river, making the tumultuous river struggle. The entire world's power was suppressing this blood river. Hiss. Within the blood river, sword lights flickered, annihilating strands of the river's power. Yet the blood river was filled with endless vitality. As one strand of power was annihilated, another would naturally recover. Within this endless blood river, every movement is strenuous. I am completely suppressed. LuoFeng was shocked. This was the endless blood river driven by the secret patterns within the Star Tower, yet it was suppressed. Brother Luo, your blood river is indeed profound, and in terms of realm, it is also at the early stage of Divine Emperor, said Emperor Qing. Within the power limits of land of origin, although I can have a slight advantage, I cannot harm you in the least. The blood river that spanned most of the world thrived with terrifying vitality. Unexpectedly within the land of origin, I have been suppressed. LuoFeng laughed. Brother Emperor Qing, I shall give my all. You should also bring out your secret treasure. Give your all. Emperor Qing was momentarily stunned. Come forth. Luo Feng stood amidst the endless blood river and shouted. Suddenly, within the endless blood river, a dark and deep 9-story tower began to emerge. Boom! As this 9-story tower appeared, the surrounding 3,000 worlds began to tremble and countless cracks emerged. The earth, mountains, sky, everything was shattering. Before, Luo Feng faced his enemies simply by driving the Star Tower's secret patterns to control his physical body into transforming into the Blood River. Now, he truly controls the Star Tower itself to confront his adversaries. This power? Emperor Qing's expression changed. Upon the appearance of this 9-story tower, it naturally eroded the 3,000 worlds, which then started to disintegrate. This is no ordinary secret treasure. Emperor Qing sensed the terrifying aspect of this treasure. As the Star Tower emerged, it grew larger and larger. Vast, majestic. As it grew upon appearing, it naturally caused the collapse of the 3,000 worlds, and it continued to grow, crushing all around. Emperor Qing's 3,000 kill array could no longer be executed. This. Emperor Qing looked up at the 9-story tower with palpitations. This secret treasure must be one forged by primordial life. Within the land of origin, the infinite space is where one could most easily obtain such treasures. Even though they are both, beyond God King level secret treasures, the ones the divine emperors like him forged and the ones Senior Yuan and company casually produced have a great disparity. Senior Yuan and the others had already stepped out of the braided cage. Even a casual creation by them could achieve effects of supreme rules. For instance, reducing all attacks from beings below primordial life by 90%, including soul attacks and all other types. Such rule-based effects are beyond what divine emperors could forge. At this moment, Emperor Qing also felt a sense of supremacy in the rules from the Star Tower, entirely unlike the secret treasures forged by ordinary divine emperors. At this instant, various powers on the land of origin watched this scene from afar. The 9-story tower appeared. Its might had already reached the limits of the land of origin. And there was also a terrifying rule-based erosion, making those who merely witnessed it feel innate fear and despair. What a treasure! All 3 alien clans, seeing it, grew covetous and greedy. It might be a secret treasure refined by Yuan. Pity it's within the land of origin. Within the land of origin, nobody can snatch it. The 3 alien clans also realized this. Meanwhile, the other powerhouses on the land of origin were completely shocked. The power of the galaxy ruler is actually capable of suppressing Emperor Qing? How can this 9-story tower be so terrifying? Emperors and monarchs all felt their hearts tremble. Turns out he didn't exert his full strength when he killed Di Yuan. With this tower, his strength is far too fearsome. Galaxy brother, hurry up and retrieve the secret treasure. Already taking distance, Emperor Qing spoke out immediately. Instantly, the Star Tower merged into the endless blood river and disappeared from sight. The endless blood river then converged into the form of Luo Feng. After sparring with Emperor Qing, Luo Feng confirmed. Emperor Qing could not even scratch his blood river, and only then did Luo Feng publicly display the Star Tower. There are too few on the land of origin worthy of wielding the Star Tower against. Luo Feng also itched for a challenge. Emperor Qing stepped closer to Luo Feng and smiled. With such a talent, Galaxy brother, it is only natural for you to possess a powerful secret treasure left by Senior Yuan. I too once received a secret treasure from Senior Yuan, but I have taken it to the outside world. Galaxy brother, be cautious when you bring this 9-story tower to the outside world in the future, Emperor Qing reminded. It can easily become a target for strong individuals of the alien race. Aren't you afraid of it being stolen? Luo Feng asked. Haha, just be careful, Emperor Qing said. There are quite a few secret treasures casually refined by Senior Yuan, such as those that can be exchanged within the infinite space. Places like the Heavenly Pillar Realm and other valuable sites might occasionally see the emergence of secret treasures. Luo Feng understood. Emperor Qing considered his Star Tower as one of those that could be exchanged within the infinite space. The secret treasures exchanged in the infinite space are all refined by primordial life, and some might even be personally crafted by Senior Yuan, Emperor Qing said. Of course, their value varies, with the highly valued costing over 100,000 reward points, and the ordinary ones around 20 to 30,000 reward points. A secret treasure worth over 100,000 reward points, each one would drive the divine emperors mad, Emperor Qing exclaimed. The ones worth 20 to 30,000 reward points are much more common. Luo Feng nodded. Those few treasures in the infinite space worth 100,000 points each could all aid in stepping out of the braided cage. Stay tuned for updates on my virtual library empire. He had never exchanged a secret treasure before, so he wasn't clear on the differences between those of the infinite space and the Star Tower. The Star Tower is not so important to me for combat, but rather for aiding in my cultivation. Luo Feng understood this point well. Comprehending the Star Tower secret patterns greatly benefited his cultivation along the life and death path. Thus, even if he ventured outside the source world, Luo Feng had no plans to take the Star Tower with him. As long as the Star Tower remained in the land of origin, then no one would think of stealing it. Brother Emperor Qing, has any cultivator exchanged for a secret treasure worth over 100,000 reward points? Luo Feng inquired. None from our land of origin, but there are from other source worlds. Emperor Qing smiled and said, Senior Yuan has left the infinite space in many source worlds. It is commonly acknowledged that 100,000 reward points is a threshold. Every treasure reaching this threshold is invaluable, even potentially helping in stepping out of the braided cage. Sadly, reaching 100,000 reward points is too difficult. Luo Feng agreed. Indeed, it was difficult. He himself also received 100,000 reward points when his spiritual will broke through. But one can't possibly exchange all the reward points for just one treasure. The offers like the special grade inheritance and perfection level inheritance in the infinite space treasure vault are also very attractive. The scarcity of a secret treasure worth at least 100,000 reward points can be imagined. Even a secret treasure worth tens of thousands of reward points is quite good, Emperor Qing said with a smile. By the way, those few secret treasures left by Emperor Yuan after his death, are they difficult to sell? It is indeed difficult to sell. I barely managed to sell 2 out of the 5, Luo Feng said with a wave of his hand. The remaining red cloak, combat boots and gloves, these 3 secret treasures, appeared. Sold the 2 more valuable ones and the remaining 3 are the most ordinary, Emperor Qing observed. 3 early-stage Divine Emperor secret treasures. How about this? My flame-wind ancient country will buy them back, for a total of 10,000 primordial crystals. 1 primordial crystal exchanges for 1,000,000 merit points at the guest elder level of the 2 great ancient countries. 10,000 primordial crystals amount to 10 billion merit points. This is a massive amount of merit that even common second-realm godly kings would look up to, and even emperors and monarchs would find it extremely difficult to amass such a grand amount. Alright, Luo Feng nodded with a smile. With a swoosh, Emperor Qing waved his hand, and a pile of dazzling primordial crystals floated to the side. Luo Feng's eyes lit up, each primordial crystal about the size of a fingertip, each round and emitting a natural aura that made Luo Feng have an urge to absorb them. Primordial crystals are the universal currency beyond the source world, Emperor Qing explained. They are refined from the essence of endless primordial force by primordial life that has escaped the braided cage. Each is made so small to facilitate our transactions. Luo Feng waved his hand and collected the stack of primordial crystals, but left 3 in his hand to feel them carefully. Primordial crystals are beneficial for cultivation for all life within the braided cage, Emperor Qing said. Universal currency? Luo Feng understood as he carefully examined the 3 primordial crystals in his palm. Absorbing them is beneficial for cultivation. But moderation is necessary, Emperor Qing said. With early-stage Divine Emperor strength, no more than 100 crystals should be absorbed per epoch. If the number absorbed is too large, the effect will diminish, and it might even become completely ineffective. Each cultivator has different physical and soul strengths, so the optimal quota also varies. This requires you to slowly explore during your cultivation. In any case, once the effect starts to decline, you must immediately reduce the quantity, Emperor Qing advised. As long as you maintain a lower quantity, the effect of the primordial crystals will always be good. Until you escape the braided cage, you can keep using them. Luo Feng exclaimed in admiration, indeed magical. Primordial crystals can be used by ordinary guest elders of the 2 great ancient countries. Even divine emperors can use them. Indeed, it is a very versatile treasure. Brother Galaxy, if the secret technique is created and everything is ready, notify me anytime. Emperor Qing handed Luo Feng a token. When the time comes, crush the token and I will sense it immediately. Other emperors of the Flame-Wind ancient country also have only transmission tokens to contact Emperor Qing, and Emperor Qing does not check them when he is in seclusion. But this token to Luo Feng, Emperor Qing will sense immediately. Alright, once everything is prepared and when it's time to leave the land of origin, I will definitely notify Brother Emperor Qing, Luo Feng happily promised. Emperor Qing smiled and nodded, then immediately stepped away and left. In the Flame-Wind ancient country, Qingdu, Emperor Qing Palace. Emperor Di Fu, Emperor Di Yan, Emperor Di Jiufeng, Emperor Di Chu, and a total of 11 emperors, either their true bodies or forms, had already gathered here. Emperor Qing and the Galaxy Rulers battle. The Galaxy Ruler finally released a 9-story tower, defeating Emperor Qing. These emperors were somewhat anxious. The greatest confidence of the Flame-Wind ancient country has always been the primogenitor Yan Feng and Emperor Qing. In the land of origin, due to the limitations on power, the difference between Emperor Qing and primogenitor Yan Feng is not that big. With a sigh, Emperor Qing appeared on the throne inside the Great Hall. Emperor Qing. All 11 emperors turned to look at Emperor Qing. Emperor Qing looked at his kin, frowned and shook his head. This Galaxy Ruler is extremely powerful. He also possesses a very powerful secret treasure. With that tower-type treasure, I couldn't defeat him. The 11 emperors were bewildered. Emperor Qing couldn't defeat him? The power limitations of the land of origin, even if the ancestor made a move, he would need powerful secret treasures to suppress the Galaxy Ruler. Emperor Qing shook his head, to suppress him, yet also unable to injure him. The foundation of this Galaxy Ruler is established. Emperor Qing gently shook his head then disappeared, leaving the 11 emperors looking at each other in dismay. The ancestor made a move with the aid of a secret treasure, yet couldn't injure this Galaxy Ruler? Emperor Di Yan felt disheartened. Emperor Di Fu sighed. We emperors are also helpless against the Thunder Ancestor or the East Extreme Domain Ancestor. Now there's just one more Galaxy Ruler, that's all. It seems the vengeance for Emperor Yuan can only be endured, Emperor Di Kong lamented from the side. Emperor Di Kong, don't take pleasure in the misfortune, Emperor Di Yan rebuked from the side. I'm speaking the truth, do you dare to take revenge? Emperor Di Kong sneered and with a step, he too had left. They're leaving another ancestor-level existence. Emperor Di Chu, Emperor Di Jiufeng, and others also departed one after another. Emperor Difu, however, was quite troubled. He chose the other. But the other must see value in him, Emperor Difu. With such a huge difference in strength, the galaxy ruler probably wouldn't care about him. In cultivation, after all, it depends on oneself. One must be strong enough, Emperor Difu thought to himself. I must find a way to reach the ultimate realm. This galaxy ruler is so strong, with a secret treasure in hand he can even suppress Emperor Qing. Is he really Luo He? Emperor Difu was not so confident at this moment. With such strength, would he leave the land of origin with me? Companions are chosen by each other. He chose the other. But the other must see value in him, Emperor Difu. With such a huge difference in strength, the galaxy ruler probably wouldn't care about him. In cultivation, after all, it depends on oneself. One must be strong enough, Emperor Difu thought to himself. I must find a way to reach the ultimate realm. His formation skill was extremely profound, only a thin barrier away from the ultimate realm, yet he just couldn't break through. Emperor Difu was also distressed. Emperor Qing has finally taken action, seeking revenge for Emperor Yuan. The power of Emperor Qing in the galaxy ruler is terrifying. Oh? Did Emperor Qing lose? Was that 9-story tower the one that defeated Emperor Qing? Those with a bit of insight could tell that in this clash, Emperor Qing had been bested. This shocked them. In the land of origin, there is a consensus. If the ancestors of the two countries do not act, Emperor Qing is invincible. This time, with the galaxy ruler wielding the 9-story tower, he actually overwhelmed Emperor Qing. In our Thunder ancient country, apart from the ancestor, there are no beings above godly king. We need to be more cautious from now on. The monarchs of the Thunder ancient country were even more anxious than those of the Flame Wind ancient country. Isn't this the star tower I refined? Mountain-sitting guest, observing through the recordings of the Thunderclap commerce, clearly saw the entire battle between Emperor Qing and Luo Feng and witnessed the emergence of the Star Tower at the end. Star Tower, a first realm of godly king's secret treasure, was actually able to defeat Emperor Qing? Mountain-sitting guest was stupefied. It seems that when I originally refined the Star Tower, that strand of golden light that merged into it was quite special, Mountain-sitting guest thought. With his abilities, he was extremely careful during the artifact refining process, not daring to allow any imperfections in the materials he used. Yet, a strand of golden light ignored his formations and his domain, directly merging into the Star Tower. Mountain-sitting guest sensed something was off at that time. Originally, after the golden light merged during the refining of the Star Tower quickly took shape. From what he could see at that time, it indeed was a first realm of godly king's secret treasure. He could not see the true nature of the Star Tower. The process of recognizing the master of the Star Tower was also much more difficult than Mountain-sitting guest had anticipated. It was only Luo Feng, on the brink of life and death, who gained recognition from the Star Tower. A good treasure also needs a suitable master. In the hands of Luo Feng, the Star Tower can truly unleash its power. Mountain-sitting guest felt quite emotional. Being the refiner and a being at the first realm of godly king himself, he couldn't even discern the true mysteries of the Star Tower. Yet, Mountain-sitting guest only felt happy. Happy for his disciple. After avenging a deep vengeance, Mountain-sitting guest felt incredibly peaceful inside. Now, his primary concern was his disciple, Luo Feng. The more luminous his disciple became, the happier he naturally felt. From Earth, this little guy has imperceptibly stood at the pinnacle of the land of origin, Mountain-sitting guest thought and smiled. Huyang City owner's mansion, quiet room. Luo Feng was in closed-door cultivation here, leaving the affairs of the Galaxy Divine Country mainly to Morosa, although at critical moments, one thought from him could reach the Galaxy Divine Country. This sparring, Emperor Qing intentionally let me win. Luo Feng understood this point. From beginning to end, Emperor Qing only used one array, the 3000 kill array, and did not use any other powerful methods or any secret treasures. A being above godly king, wandering outside the source world for prolonged years, without any life-risking tactics? In his hometown, doesn't he have a single secret treasure? If really sparing no expense, whether I could have the upper hand is still hard to say. My secret treasures might have the advantage, but Emperor Qing's realm is higher than mine. Using some treasures at the late or perfect level of Divine Emperor might be able to contend with the Star Tower. In the land of origin, the power is limited. Myself, Emperor Qing, the ancestors of the two nations. Even if one gains the upper hand, it's hard to significantly affect the others. But outside the land of origin, the gap becomes significant. Luo Feng was very clear. His so-called invincibility was due to taking advantage of the supreme rules that limited power in the land of origin. Let's practice diligently, I at least need to reach the ultimate realm. Luo Feng flipped his hand, and a primordial crystal appeared in his palm. This finger-sized, smooth, stone-like treasure was swallowed by Luo Feng in one gulp. Primordial crystal, upon entering the body, began to be slowly absorbed. Primordial crystal, the essence of refined primordial force, should be beneficial as long as one hasn't become primordial life. At this moment Luo Feng's physical body was nourished, his spirit was also nourished, and his thoughts were processing several times faster. His comprehension also seemed to be improving. It even has effects of strengthening my physical body and empowering my spirit, Luo Feng exclaimed. Primordial crystal, at an extremely slow pace, was fortifying his physical body, spirit. In theory, with an infinite amount of primordial crystal and infinite time, one could strengthen the physical body, spirit to an extremely terrifying state. Unfortunately, the amount of primordial crystals one can consume in one epoch is limited. Consuming too much, the effectiveness reduces and can become ineffective. Normally, the higher the life level, the weaker the nurturing effect of treasures. But primordial crystal continues to be effective. Luo Feng closed his eyes, began to focus on understanding the materials of the 3 ultimate realm strength primordial bloodline creatures he had acquired. Time also continued to flow in the cultivation. Since the sparring with Emperor Qing, no one from the land of origin has challenged the galaxy divine country again. The galaxy ruler now stands alongside the 2 country ancestors, the East Extreme Domain Ancestor and Emperor Qing. And since the galaxy emperor abhors evil, it also made the old beings of the land of origin no longer dare to act recklessly. At least devouring billions of creatures, this kind of thing, vanished for a short period. In an instant, 300 epochs had passed since the establishment of the galaxy divine country. That day, an inconspicuous event occurred. Elder Yuan of the Blade River sect had a breakthrough, becoming a godly king. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and turn on the notifications so you won't miss any of our upcoming great videos.